Got a little video here off this 1 acre clearing job we're on. So I'm digging a big pine stump here, and all the stumps on this job, they're all hanging in there pretty tough. But you'll see on this stump here, this is one of the worst ones. I'm going down beside it. I'll go deep down one side of it, and then you'll see me pull on it and see if it's ready. Nobody really likes to dig stumps, but that's part of it. You just gotta do it. And I recommend that you go slow and you don't deadhead your hydraulics. And if you'll notice, I'm keeping the boom in the middle of its range. You don't want to dig stumps with your boom all, like, you know, your stick all the way out. And the reason for that is you'll bend a ram on your hydraulics, you know, or tear the cylinder up. You want to keep it kind of in the middle of its range. See how the boom's, you know, it should be about middle right there. So you don't want to be too close, but you don't want to be far. All right, so I pulled on it. It wasn't ready. See it? I didn't pull on it hard. I just pulled on it. It didn't shake. So I'm going to go dig down the other side of it. And I'm going to put the dirt off of this side back in the other hole, because I know I'm done digging on that side. I done dug past the bottom and cut the roots, so shouldn't need to go back over there. So I'm just going to dump dirt over there. And you'll notice, you know, somebody's got a lot of seat time. They'll be doing the same thing, but you see how I'm not actually dumping with the bucket. I'm just kicking the stick out to dump the dirt out. Little time hack there, save you a bunch of time. If you do it all day, it saves you a lot of time. You're way more productive. Okay, so we're going to pull on it here again, and if we see it move, and it does, we're going to go ahead and hook it with these teeth and pull it out of there. That's another good thing about the twin tiger teeth, which these are getting kind of worn now, but they're still pretty good. They're still pretty sharp, and you can bite that stump pretty good with it, and you can use a lot more pull force on the actual stump pulling up instead of pulling it into the dirt bank. So I'm just trying to throw it around and get some of the dirt off of it, and then we're going to cover this hole up and move to the next one. You got to exercise a little discipline to do it, but you're almost in all cases better off to spend a little time and cover the hole up and cover it up well. That way, when you come along with the dozer raking, you don't have to worry about if the dirt's on the right side of the hole, you know, for the dozer, you know, because that's the thing with the excavator, you can pull dirt from any direction. See how I'm doing here, back and forth, back and forth. But if you got all the dirt on one side and you happen to be raking and you come up on the other side, then you got to stop your raking and go all the way around and push your dirt back in the hole. You know, there's track wear in that, and there's a lot of time involved in that. Okay, so the stumps can be kind of hard to find when they're you know, ground level or below the ground. So when it gets to that, you just got to be really thorough and start raking the ground, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of skimming the ground, trying to feel, and I'm cleaning up at the same time. So I wind up with a bunch of these piles, and I'll run by and grab them with a dozer. And it actually saved me some track wear on the dozer too, you know, and I got to find them anyway, so kind of killing two birds with one stone. And I believe that's one. Yep, that's definitely a stump there. So like I said, they are hard to find, but the only way to do it and be thorough about it is just rake it. So I'd also like to add too, at this point, the disciplined approach that I'm talking about. I'm running the throttle just above half. It's not 3/4, but it's just above half, and I'm exercising this discipline that I'm talking about. And you know, honestly, this machine, the way I'm talking about digging, you know, not deadheading and your hydraulics and just pulling on the stump even when you know it's not going to come up, and just giving the machine a hard time. The way that I'm showing you here, this machine will last forever doing this, because it doesn't know that it's digging stumps, because I'm just digging dirt and I happen to reach over and pull the stump out when it's ready. You know, so like I said, it is it seems a little slower even to the person that's doing it when they first start, but I promise you it is faster. It's, you know, if you got somebody that's disciplined, that's digging these stumps in this manner, they're almost always going to outproduce the cowboy digger that's, you know, that's full throttle and ripping and raring. And especially with fuel cost up like it is right now, fuel consumption is a big deal. So this machine burns a lot less at, you know, just above half throttle than it does at full throttle, which, I mean, all machines are that way. And right now, that's a big deal. So if I can be productive and burn less fuel, you know, and not tear the machine apart, hey, that's a win-win all the way around. You know, and that's the way we work it. I'll turn the machine up if I need to. If I'm digging heavy dirt or heavy clay, sometimes I got to run it almost full throttle. And it's actually got an eco mode, a power mode, and a high performance mode. And this is just in the power mode. I don't really like the eco mode. It seems like it cuts the power too bad. And you got to run the throttle higher. So I would rather run it in the regular power mode and run the throttle just above half. The machine does really well. You know, not all machines are different, so you'll have to adjust yours accordingly. And but I'm telling you, the fuel savings alone is huge. Here I'm maneuvering to get my tracks pointed back the right way. You don't want to dig off the sprockets if you can help it. In this situation, it just made more sense to dig a couple stumps off the sprockets rather than turn around. But digging off the sprockets engages the bushing in the sprocket up and down, and it you know, increases chain and sprocket wear pretty significantly if you do it a lot. You always want to dig off the rollers. You know, the roller and the chain is in contact already, so there's no really wear that happens there. They're not, you know, the bushing's not going down into the sprocket and engaging them. And your machine's a lot more stable, and, you know, it helps out with everything actually. So this was a lot smaller stump here. I actually got it turned where you can't really see it that great, but it's really windy today, and I'm flying the drone, so I'm having to kind of play it safe and keep it away from trees, because the trees will lean over and hit the drone. So that's the reason it's the poor angle here. But yeah, that was a smaller stump than what I've been digging. Nevertheless, though, it had to come out. It was in the line. If you're like me, you just want to go. So it's really hard. I have to really discipline myself to take time to fill these holes in, because I'm on to go on to the next stump. But this is definitely the way to do it, is fill the holes in and then move on, because you're done. You don't have to worry about it. And then when you rake over it with a dozer, it'll be one pass, be nice and clean, and you're just done. If you don't fill those holes in, it can when you go, like I said, when you go over it with a dozer, what's going to happen? Inevitably, the dirt's going to be on the wrong side. You know, you'll be approaching from the east, and the dirt will be on the west, and then you got to go around, and it just kills you on time and productivity. You know, plus the added wear and expense. So the disciplined way is the best way, even though it's hard. This stump's really hard to see. It's not a huge one, but it's to the right side of where the bucket's going in right there. From our point of view, it's to the right side. So it's actually to the left of the bucket. But watch, you see the tiger teeth? Like I said, they're worn. Watch how them teeth stick that stump. And when you stick it, you can just pull up on it. You don't have to pull it into the bank like you do with a sand tooth or something like that. So you get a lot more up force. And these teeth definitely are not. You know, they're probably 50% of what they are when they're new. So we're getting close to thinking about changing them. We're just trying to get what we can out of them. But the tiger teeth really make a big difference. You know, when you're digging stumps, it's a big advantage. Everyone will develop their own way to fill these holes in. But did you see me back the machine up? And the reason for that is you don't have a whole lot of power. Would stick out off the tooth edge. You know, when you're too close. Did you see that? I pushed it in and kind of come in and changed it. Watch, I'm gonna change the direction of the dirt when I push it in. See how I change it to where the hole is? You know, so everybody gets their own way of doing it. I've watched other people and they do it totally different. A lot of people do side booming. I find it better for me to do less side booming. See how I just kind of bring it on in, and I try to make small bites, something the machine can handle. There's a lot of power and rolling the bucket too. So like when you roll the bucket out, when you're sticking out, there's a lot of power involved in that, and that'll move a lot more dirt. You know, if you're having a hard time running the stick out. See, this, I like to go in a circular motion. Like I said, everybody's got their own way. And the other reason that I don't like the side boom as much is because it's really hard on the tractor. So you're really working the transmission in the tractor. You know, your ring gear and your table bearing and all that. It's just hard on them. They don't have a whole lot of power. They're not designed for that. They're designed to push and pull. And, you know, while side booming is acceptable and there is an acceptable way to do it, it's not a strong point for the machine. So that's the reason I do the push-pull method more. And then if I do side boom, I try to side boom easy after I've raked through it. You know, side booming will be the last thing I'll do, and I'll side boom really easy. That way I don't hit a stump. And, you know, oh my gosh, anybody that's dug knows what it feels like if you're side booming at full speed and you hit something and it stops it. It just jars everything, and it's you know, it's rough on bushings because it's a sideways snap instead of a forward to backwards. I'm sure if you're still watching at this point, you're like me, you love equipment and you love watching stumps get dug. So thank you for that. I really appreciate you watching. So we're digging another one. All this here has been raked with a dozer. I've already raked all this, you know, so I could see the stumps better. That's a big deal too. There's certain jobs you'll get on and you know, you can stump it. Like if they're cut off high, you can stump it before raking it, and that works pretty good. This job, everything was cut off really low and you had to move a lot of material to find them. So we found out it would be easier on this one just to go ahead and rake it and try to get most of it out of the way and then come back and find the stumps. And that's what we're doing. So my audio got turned off on this some kind of way, so I don't have audio for it. So there's the backup, so I got some power. You see me back up, got my spot that I needed to be. Now I'm gonna pull forward so I can pull some of that dirt up. I actually put that in my bucket because I had a good pile there. You know, if you don't have a good pile, that don't work, but in that situation I did.